Assalamu alaikum students, I am Shkil Ahmed. Our today's history topic is Nawaz Sharif's second tenure. So after taking office for second time as Prime Minister of Pakistan, Nawaz Sharif introduced the 13th Amendment. The 13th Amendment gave Nawaz Sharif the authority to revoke the authority of President to dismiss the Prime Minister and the National Assembly. So it meant that 13th Amendment had taken away the right of President to suspend the Assembly. The President also lost the power of appointment um, the three army chiefs, chief of staffs of the armed forces, and the provincial governors. Actually, the presidency now became a ceremonial power, and most of its powers were now resting into the hands of Prime Minister of Pakistan. The measure was supported by all the political parties as the Eighth Amendment had greatly undermined political stability in the authority. The political parties supported just because of now uh, uh, they were more powerful rather than in the past they were. Although this appeared to make Pakistan more democratic, the events of 1999 were to show that it actually created dangers for democracy. So the events will be under discussion in the upcoming time. Nawaz Sharif took measures to stop politicians switching parties in order to help form uh, coalitions to oppose or even form governments. Uh, Switching political parties means that different politicians they used to switch or they replace they change their political parties. Now we'll discuss some policies of Mohammad Nawaz Sharif as Prime Minister. So such a practice invited inducements to persuade politicians to change parties or even to prevent them changing, and many posts in government or cheap loans had been granted as a result of this practice. The anti-defection bill means the 14th amendment prevented such type of switching the parties. Nawaz Sharif's measures appeared to make the country more democratic, and they were accompanied by increasing repression even. Journalists who wrote critical articles about Sharif and against Sharif were arrested, and unexpected tax inspections of the affairs of newspaper editors were carried out. In May 1997, Nawaz Sharif's secret police attacked the home of a leading critic of government, Najm Sethi, and kidnapped him. And he was released only after the international pressure and protest. In the same year, when Nawaz Sharif was defending himself in the Supreme Court against accusations of corruption, his supporters stormed the building, and proceedings had to be suspended in the court. Nawaz Sharif also became involved in the dispute with the Chief Justice of Pakistan, Syed Sajjad Ali Shah. He ordered party members to storm the Supreme Court and remove Sajjad Ali Shah. Sajjad Ali Shah had been appointed as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court in the previous tenure by Benazir Bhutto. He became a critic of Nawaz Sharif, and matters came to a head in 1997 when Nawaz Sharif was defending himself in the Supreme Court against accusations of corruption. An unruly mob stormed into the Supreme Court building, forcing Chief Justice to adjourn the case against Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. Hundreds of Sharif supporters broke through the police cordon around the courthouse, and Chief Justice Sajjad Ali Shah had to flee away for his life and safety. The police managed to restore order only after batons charging and tear gassing the mob both inside and outside the courthouse. President of Pakistan Sardar Farooq Ahmad Khan Lighari had given his support to Nawaz Sharif, and he was appalled by measures being taken by the government, but had no powers to dismiss it since the Eighth Amendment had been revoked. He was particularly concerned when he was asked by the government to dismiss Sajjad Ali Shah and appoint an acting Chief Justice of Pakistan. So, Farooq Ahmad Khan Lighari was not supporting the policies and ideas of Muhammad Nawaz Sharif. That's why he resigned on 2nd December 1997. Muhammad Rafiq Tarar, the Pakistan Muslim League candidate, was elected to replace the former president Sardar Farooq Lighari. On 23rd December, Ajmal Mia was appointed as permanent Chief Justice of Pakistan, and Sajjad Ali Shah had been dismissed. In 1998, Pakistan carried out a series of nuclear tests in Balochistan at Chaghi. So these were very popular among the people, where many people were proud of the country's show of strength. They brought widespread international criticism and economic sanctions from countries such as United States and Japan. The Pakistan economy was now close to collapse, uh, because the the world had imposed so many embargoes and economic sanctions on Pakistan, and Sharif had to raise the price of fuel and negotiate bank loans to keep the Pakistan government from bankruptcy. He also introduced a state of emergency curtailing civil rights. During Zia time, army had been a constant threat to democracy in Pakistan because army had been in the rule for a long time. So when the army chief of staff General Jahangir Karamat suggested that he should be given a position on the National Security Council of Pakistan, Nawaz Sharif forced him to resign. Nawaz Sharif had removed a potential threat, but General Jahangir Karamat's replacement was now General Pervez Musharraf. General Musharraf was appointed by Nawaz Sharif as the new army chief. Nawaz Sharif tried to strengthen his position by introducing the 15th Amendment. The 15th Amendment had made Sharia the supreme law and gave the Prime Minister the right to rule by decree in the name of Islamic law. However, he was uncertain of the depth of his support and didn't ask the Senate to ratify the measure. The final nail in the Sharif's coffin was the failure of Pakistan supported forces in the Kargil conflict. After early successes, Muslim Kashmiri forces were driven back. Sharif denied that his forces were involved in the Kargil sector, but evidence showed that they were involved. The failure in Kashmir and the high-handed way in which General Jahangir Karamat had been treated had lost Sharif the support of army. Mass opposition rallies showed Sharif had lost the support of the people as well. Nawaz Sharif feared a coup led by General Pervez Musharraf, so he decided to remove General Musharraf. Uh, as General Musharraf returned from a visit to Sri Lanka on 12th October 1999, Nawaz Sharif ordered the Civil Aviation Authority not to give permission for his plane to land. Then Nawaz Sharif appointed in the due course the head of ISI, Inter-Services Intelligence, as the new army chief. The army refused to accept his appointment. So simply when General Musharraf was on official tour to Sri Lanka, so in the meanwhile Nawaz Sharif had appointed ISI chief as the army chief, and he removed General Pervez Musharraf from the post of army chief, which was rejected by the armed forces. He took over Karachi and allowed Musharraf's plane to land. Uh, Once he was on ground, Musharraf announced that the army was taking control. So Nawaz Sharif, his brother, and five other government officials were charged and found guilty on charges of attempted murder, hijacking, and kidnapping in the plane conspiracy case. And at the request of the Saudi royal family, the government exiled him to Saudi Arabia.